Devil horn salute. Good morning. What's up, gang? Yeah, it's a legit wake and bake. Good morning. I am crawling out of bed. I haven't had a shower yet and brushed my teeth. I'm waking up for the second time today. Medicines are kicking in. I'm groggy out of it, so a little blunt, a little holy water here to get the day started. I have a few thoughts about NASCAR I wanted to share today. I do the snake. Anybody that don't know what's going on with my channel, I do thoughts at the Magic Coins. I don't do podcasts. I don't sit in front of a camera in a studio like Joe Rogan and most of these people. In fact, I find podcasts quite fucking boring, honestly. Do a lot of shorts. Sometimes I will sit and talk. Thank you. If anybody can sit for 5 to 10 minutes listening to me, thank you. Blessings back to you. It's hard to watch somebody. I know I've watched YouTube's full of people like this. They sit down, they got a little commentary thing, might have a green screen back there with shit on it and that, but this is what it is. So now if you're new to the channel, hit that like or subscribe naturally. That's just what it is. Do not call me a YouTuber. I am not a YouTuber. I'm not an influencer. I'm just some dipshit that does videos, okay? I'm bored. I have no life. I have nothing to do. It's social fucking media, so I make videos out of boredom, and honestly, I don't give a fuck if anybody watches this shit or not. It's all about views anyway, and if I like the video or think it's important, I got to juke and jive an algorithm at least 20 times to make sure it tags along. Sometimes it starts out slow, sometimes it don't. It is what it is. Let's talk about NASCAR. This is almost so good, I might be able to juke and jive this into a snake church sermon somewhere, because there's definitely a double standard with NASCAR. Let's start with NASCAR. How many assault and batteries have you watched this year? I've watched quite a few. That's called assault and battery. When you go and punch somebody, that's called an assault or battery, however the law wants to see this. Now, what leads up to assault and battery at a NASCAR race? Well, road rage. Yeah, race rage. Now, here's the thing, though. You got a guy that signs a contract to drive a car. Your favorite driver doesn't own the team. He doesn't even own the fucking car. He just gets paid to drive the fucking car, and he helps make the team money. No, it's a team project. You just get a figurehead that gets all the glory, like a Dale Earnhardt. Well, if it wasn't for Dale Earnhardt's team, like Richard Childress and Chocolate in the Pits, he'd have never got to where he got. It takes a good owner, it takes good gear, and it takes a good pit crew, and it takes good guys at the shop to get to be number fucking one. And with NASCAR, you got people that need to run in the back of the field, and you got people that run in the middle of the field. Not everybody is a top 10 contender. One thing I hate is all the cars are the same now. In fact, this new generation of cars, they lack the character of the old ones. Remember when I was growing up, man, we loved these cars because they had stickers all over them and numbers, and they looked like an everyday car that you could drive. And we would take our everyday cars and paint them up, primer them, and stick stickers on them and make them look like NASCARs and drive them all over the city. I know I've had a couple of them and been in trouble once or twice with the law because of it, because they thought it was some kind of souped up car when it was just nothing. It was just a car with a bunch of steering. I think I had a T-Bird, had over 80 racing decals on the thing. No shit. They called it the traveling suitcase down there at the drag strip. But no, NASCAR, it's cheap. It's changed. In fact, I noticed this year that, I don't know if anybody else knows, but they took out the Firecracker 400. Around the 4th of July, usually they're down in Daytona to do the Firecracker 400, and I think they were in Iowa this year. They've added a street race in Chicago. Okay, and then I think it's Charlotte. They've added a road course or something. Man, I'm going to tell you what, that shit don't work. Not at Charlotte. It's not even a regular road course facility. It's always been known as an oval track. Now they're trying new things and it ain't working. And then they're getting rid of tradition. And that's one thing that when Bubba come in, he got rid of NASCAR tradition. In fact, I quit. With the cable TV, it's hard to watch this shit now without a TV. It's hard to follow it. Now with the YouTube, thank God they've got the little highlights, and I'll admit I'll sit here and watch the highlights. Now, I was watching Haley Dugan because we'd followed her from ARCA, and from what I could tell from what I watch, and I'm not doing it every week, she was consistent. She's not like Danica Patrick going out tearing up shit every week. Again, the driver don't own the car. don't own the team. It's an owner that puts a driver under contract in the car. And I'd hate to have been having Danica Patrick on my team, because every week, you know, in the shop, you're going to repair the shit she tore up. What's she going to hit this week? Yeah, every week she's tearing up a fucking car. Well, that cost the team money. Okay, it's job security, but it costs money. So no, the idea is to go out there, race, be consistent, and try not to break shit. I personally think she should have went back to the trucks. Some people don't do good in the cars, they do great in the trucks, but a couple, 3 years of beating and banging. The truck series is probably the best racing you can get right now, if you can get into the truck thing. Let me say, the racing right now, it's tighter than ever before. If you look back at the old videos with, say, like Bobby Allison, Cale Yarborough, Leroy Yarborough, all them old timers, Bobby Isaac, Tiny Lund, there'd be 4 or 5 guys out front. And then there'd be another pack. There'd be a couple different 3 packs of cars. And it was always the guy with the best gear, the best equipment, the best motor that won every week. And I asked my old lady that, which would you rather see? Everybody running the same tight and all that. And then it is a little entertaining. Or the guy with the best gear wins. She'd rather see the package you got today. And I admit, it is a little more entertaining. But they're wrecking more. They're tearing up more shit. And there's more big ones. I mean, back in the day, why did anybody want to watch NASCAR? For the fucking wrecks. So it's a personal preference. See, with this new DEI thing where everybody's got to be the same, we've got to be more inclusive, we've got to add things that don't need to be added into the mix, but it is, and it's trickled into NASCAR. Okay, so now we've got road rage. We got road rage out here, but we see it in NASCAR. And during the race, we see people bunging each other, spinning people out, putting them in the walls. Again, that is a driver under contract, spinning someone else's shit into the wall, tearing up someone else's shit. And there's repercussions. Now, they don't get out here. If we did shit like that, we get jail and fine time. They just get fined. They don't get the jail time. There's some of this shit, it's going to get to the point where it's going to escalate to where somebody's going to get hurt. In fact, Tony Stewart a few years back had an incident on a dirt track or something to where somebody got killed. And Tony Stewart has had a black mark on his fucking name and record ever fucking since. Yeah, it's just the total blackness over Tony Stewart after that. And he was a very popular driver at one time, if I remember right, Home Depot boy. Now, Bubba. There's named 2 popular drivers right now. The most popular would be Danica, Hailie Deegan, because she's making it, and Bubba. Bubba's probably the most talked about driver at the moment. It ain't Kyle Busch. Kyle Busch ain't doing good. Kyle Busch has got a good team and good gear. I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but they need to pull their heads out, because Richard Childress has always had good gear and good drivers. Something just ain't gelling with that number 18. But Bubba, anybody notice last week he finished in the top 10? I did. I always watch, make sure he's not finishing good. I don't like the guy, okay? I could say a lot of shit about him. I would probably lose my YouTube channel. And they would call me bad names, and we don't need that. Just, I think he's a POS. So, no, he actually finished in top. But the only time this guy gets in the news is when he's being the baby. Bubba the baby. He's always, somebody wronged him. It seems like he's got privilege. He's got black privilege now, because if someone just taps him wrong, it gives him the right to go fucking crazy and start a fight. No, the only time this guy makes news is when he fucks up and starts a fight or crybabies about something. Wendell Scott, don't know much about him. Why you don't know much about Wendell Scott was he was the first black driver, but he kept his mouth shut. He showed up with his gear. They kept to themselves. They got a little help where they needed. They got along with everybody. He didn't make waves. Bubba come in. He's like that nappy-haired quarterback that everybody forgot about in the NFL that ruined football, by the way. I don't even watch the shit no more. They let politics into the sport, and fuck that. There's no room for politics in football. Let's just get out there like the gridiron and kill each other and move that football and score touchdowns, okay? No room for politics. Same thing with NASCAR. Bubba brought in a bad element. You know, and you watch some of these old NASCAR races, and you could see that red rag out there. In fact, if you go back to the 1960s, the Rebel 500, the Dixie 500, you'd have people in Confederate uniforms and flags at the racetrack handing out trophies. It was always part of the culture. There was never any racism about it. It's always been, fuck the establishment. But times change things. Times change things. It's like the people who tore down Robert E. Lee's statue in Richmond. They don't realize that 150 years earlier, Robert E. Lee was trying to save Richmond from the Yankee Army. In fact, they eventually came in and burned the city down and had to rebuild it from scratch. The sacrifice that people made to save that city through the Civil War was just ruined in one night with some spray cans, some Molotov cocktails, and a mob of fucking youngsters under 25. A bunch of teen thugs out there demanding change, and they got it. They got the statue pulled down and all that. Now look at the shithole that's become of Richmond and society in general. NASCAR is a reflection of this. So we can go out, we can bang somebody, we can door check somebody, send them into the wall. It's called road rage. There's no repercussions. Sometimes these guys don't even get fines. Then after the race, we get in a confrontation. We're going to fight. That's called assault and battery, but nobody goes to jail. There's no fines. Oh, I mean, they might get fines, and sometimes they don't. It's gotten so bad now that NASCAR has to be WWE. Oh, yeah, we got to throw in some fights now to get the fucking ratings because the ratings are dropping because the product's shitty now. It's cost too much to go to the race. It's cost too much for the damn T-shirts. The $5 hot dog, probably $10 now, ain't worth a fuck. I've been to Kansas Speedway, and we weren't treated like guests. We were treated horribly. We couldn't even get people. They got all these little buggies all over the fucking place. Couldn't even get somebody to give us a ride. And they could see we were having some problems out there. That's a long story. I made videos about that a couple years back. I think I'm done. NASCAR, you gotten cheap. Bubba, you're a fucking baby. Haley, good luck to you. We're still following you. I think somewhere someone made some mistakes. Yeah, maybe Joey Logano at Chicago, but they should have put her right back in the car at Pocono. It was a big track. She might have been able to do something there instead of hanging out in the 25 to 35. So it is what it is. A double standard. A double standard in society. If I go out and do what they do at NASCAR, they would throw me in jail and fine me. I know, it's called entertainment. It goes back to the days of the Colosseum, you know, bloodthirsty Romans, the gladiators, the chariot races. We really haven't changed much in all these years. So, Orange Salute, thanks for watching. Hit that like and subscribe if you lasted this long. Have a great weekend. Thank you for watching.